You tell yourself it will be different this time. Just one bite, just a small snack, and then you will stop. But a few minutes later, you look down and realize the packet is empty. You didn't even plan to eat that much, yet somehow it happened again. And the strange part is, this is not the first time. You start asking yourself, why can't I control this? Why do I keep eating even when I'm not hungry? It feels like something inside you takes over in that moment, almost like you are watching yourself from outside, unable to stop it. But what if this is not a lack of self-control? What if your brain is actually doing something behind the scenes that you don't even notice? Something automatic, something powerful, something that quietly pushes you toward food without asking your permission. Because the real truth is, this is not just about hunger. It's about how your brain reacts to food, emotions, and instant reward. And once you understand what's really happening inside your mind, you'll realize you were never fully in control in the first place. This is where the confusion really starts. You sit with full awareness and decide, I will just eat a little. At that moment, you feel in control and confident about your decision. But as soon as you start eating, something changes quietly. That control doesn't disappear suddenly. It fades step by step without you noticing. One bite turns into another, and before you realize it, you are eating much more than you planned. After it ends, you look at the empty plate or packet and feel surprised at yourself. Why did I do that again? I wasn't even that hungry. It feels like you broke your own promise. This cycle repeats in different situations: chips, sweets, fast food, or late-night cravings. Most people blame themselves and think it is weak willpower. But if it was only willpower, sometimes it would work, and sometimes it would fail. This inconsistency shows something deeper is happening. It is not just food. It is a brain pattern that activates through emotions, habits, and environment, taking control before you even realize it. Now here is the part most people never realize. If this is not just willpower, then what is actually taking control in that moment? The answer is your brain's reward system. Your brain is not built for discipline or dieting. It is built for survival and instant rewards. In ancient times, high-calorie food meant survival, so your brain learned to treat sugar, fat, and salt as high-value signals. So when you see or taste junk food, your brain reacts automatically. It releases dopamine, a chemical that creates pleasure and reward. The stronger the taste, the stronger the signal. That is why chips, sweets, and fast food feel impossible to resist. They are engineered to overstimulate this system. Here is the key point. Your brain doesn't just enjoy food, it learns patterns. It starts linking junk food with instant pleasure, while healthy food feels slow and less exciting. So before you even think, your brain already pushes you toward what feels rewarding right now. That is why it doesn't feel like a decision. It feels automatic. Your brain is simply choosing the fastest reward path, even if it goes against your long-term goals. And with time, this loop becomes stronger until control slowly shifts from you to your habits. Now you might think, if I know all this, I should be able to control it. But in the real moment, control still disappears. Why? Because in that exact moment, your brain changes its system. The part of your brain responsible for logic and long-term thinking, the prefrontal cortex, starts to slow down under pressure. At the same time, the emotional and reward part of your brain becomes more active. So when you see food, feel stress, boredom, or even a small craving, your brain shifts into instant mode. It stops thinking about tomorrow, weight gain, or health goals. It only focuses on one thing: immediate comfort. That is why you can promise yourself, I will not eat this, and still end up eating it minutes later. It's not because you are lying to yourself. It's because in that moment, your brain is not running on logic. It is running on emotion and reward. Stress, tiredness, or even a long day makes this effect even stronger. The more drained you are, the less control your thinking brain has, and the stronger the emotional brain becomes. So in that moment, it doesn't feel like a choice anymore. It feels like an urge that wins before you even get time to think. Now let's get real about what actually starts this whole cycle in everyday life. Because it doesn't happen randomly. There are small, invisible triggers around you that quietly push your brain into eat mode without asking your permission. First is stress. After a long, tiring day, your brain is not thinking logically anymore. It is looking for relief, and food becomes the fastest escape. You don't feel a clear decision, you feel a pull. Just eat something, you'll feel better. And you follow it. Then comes boredom. When nothing is happening, your brain feels empty and starts searching for stimulation. Food becomes the easiest solution. You don't even realize when you stand up and walk to the kitchen. Nighttime is even worse. Your brain is tired, your self-control is low, and cravings feel stronger. What should be a small snack turns into overeating without planning. Even your environment matters. Seeing food, smelling it, or scrolling food videos can trigger hunger instantly. Your brain doesn't ask questions, it reacts. So it's not just hunger controlling you, it's stress, emotions, tiredness, and environment quietly working together, pushing you before you even think. Now here is the part that quietly controls most eating habits without people even noticing. The loop. It always starts small. A stressful moment, boredom, or a sudden craving. You don't plan to overeat, but your brain quickly pushes one thought. Just eat something, it will make you feel better. And in that moment, you listen. For a short time, it actually works. You feel relief, stress reduces, mind feels lighter. It feels like the decision was correct, but that feeling is temporary. After some time, reality comes back. You look at what you ate and think, why did I do that again? I wasn't even that hungry. Then comes guilt, confusion, and a promise. Next time, I will control myself. But that promise is made in a calm mind, not in a triggered moment. And this is where the loop becomes dangerous. Trigger eating, temporary relief, guilt, promise, repeat. The brain remembers what gave instant comfort. So next time, in the same situation, it repeats the same choice automatically. Slowly, this stops feeling like a decision and starts feeling like a habit you can't explain. Now here is the part that can completely change how you see yourself. Most people believe the problem is, I have no control, or I am weak with food. But the truth is very different. The real issue is not your willpower, it is your brain being trained by repetition. Your brain is always trying to save energy and reduce discomfort. So whenever it finds something that gives quick relief, like food, especially tasty and high-calorie food, it remembers it as a shortcut. Not because it is right, but because it is easy. And over time, this shortcut becomes stronger. Every stress, every boring moment, every emotional dip slowly adds another layer to this pattern. Until one day, it feels like you are not choosing food. Food is choosing for you. But here is the twist. The same brain that learned this pattern can also unlearn it. Because your brain is not fixed, it is adaptable. It rewires based on what you repeat, not what you promise. So the real power was never about forcing control in one moment. It is about slowly changing the pattern your brain keeps following every day, again and again. Now here is the final truth that most people miss completely. You don't need extreme willpower or perfect discipline to fix this. Because the real problem was never just lack of control. The real issue is that your brain has been trained over time to follow the same eating patterns again and again. Every time you used food to deal with stress, boredom, or emotion, your brain learned one thing. This works fast. Not because it is right, but because it gives instant relief. And the brain always prefers what is easy and quick. But here is what most people don't realize. The brain is not fixed. It changes based on repetition. So if a pattern can be learned, it can also be unlearned. The solution is not fighting your brain in one big moment. It is creating small breaks in the pattern. Even a few seconds of awareness before eating or delaying the response starts weakening the old loop. Over time, those small changes build a new system. The same triggers start losing power, and you slowly regain control, not by force, but by awareness and repetition.